Good morning. Dean Barbara, His Eminence Kensur Rinpoche, Geshe-la Lobsang Tenzing Negi, the head of the Compassion Center, the mentors, Robert Paul and Gary Hock, and all the faculty, staff, students, and sponsors coming here today. I would like to just begin by paying my respects on the 90th birthday of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, who I've had the great honor and privilege of meeting several times in my life. And what a great way to celebrate his 90th birthday. So let me congratulate Dean Barbara and the university for starting this year of compassion and launching of the Compassion Shift. It is indeed a very significant day. I also want to congratulate the whole team of Emory for this launch, as it is a historic moment. And I'm filled with joy and excitement looking at the possibility of cultivating compassion across the globe, which will change our world towards deliberate action for the whole of humanity. I've heard a few personal stories today, so I'm going to leave aside what I had prepared and just talk a little bit about my own personal stories, if you don't mind, and how that has impacted me and how it has done something for compassion in business. Because I know all of you there are lots of practitioners of this in the social sector. My family, my grandfather, who was in the 1930s, was living in a village, a small village in Rajasthan in India. And he didn't have much money. In fact, he came to Mumbai to build his fortune with the equivalent maybe of $20 of that time in the 30s. But after making a little bit of money in Mumbai, he went back. The first thing he did, he went back to his village, because there he found that there was a lot of people who were really living in poverty and without education. So the first thing he did was to start a school for girls. And in the early 1900s in India, and especially in Rajasthan, it was not very common for a girl to go to school. So his first was a girls' school. And the other thing he did is, as you know, at that time there was a lot of caste system which was prevalent in the country. He opened a school for the lowest caste, just to exhibit a compassion. So fortunately for me, I've been grateful to be born in a family where compassion was a part of daily life. My father, who passed away early, but his guru was a Sufi saint. We are practicing Hindus, let me just tell you that. My mother was her guru, and who's also my guru, I have to say, is a practicing Hindu saint. My brother had cancer at an early age in the 30s, and the person who would bless him was Mother Teresa, who came more than once to our house, and I spent a lot of time with her. So that's a Christian saint. And I've had the honor, as I said, of meeting His Holiness the Dalai Lama at least 4 or 5 times and spending some quality time with him, again, who is a Buddhist monk. But what was the common thing that we found in each of this, at least what I learned, is it was the same language of compassion, of love for all. And that is what I think has driven at least me in my personal life. And we decided to do that when I was, as I said, because of my personal instances, forced to take leadership of a business at a very young age. And the first thing we did is to define what is the purpose of the group that we are doing. Purpose in business, purpose in foundation, or the philanthropy we do, according to me, it's just the same thing. So what is our purpose? Our purpose is doing well and doing good by making a positive difference in the world around us and by serving people. So what's important is that in business, you have to do well, because if you don't do well, profit is really the oxygen that which you survive. But that is not the only reason why you survive. Yes, you need oxygen, but you need to do more. And therefore, you have to do well. Even if it is business, our business is in pharmaceuticals, and we believe that we have to contribute in alleviating human suffering. Our business is in financial services, and we believe that it is by giving credit that even the unserved people can actually go and aspire to get a house sometime in their life. So, and we have to do well in it, because if we don't do well, you cannot survive. Similarly, in our foundation, the education that we do, the C learning, the CBCT, all that we do is doing well, but it is also doing good, but it is also measured as doing well. And we have clear measurements of impact all the time. And we believe that we have to make, the second point is that we have to make a positive difference in the world around us. Why is that? I think all of us are much more privileged than most of the people in the world. We are privileged to have born in a family which has given us the values. We have been privileged to attend schools, to attend a university like this. We've been privileged to get a job somewhere or a profession. All these are important things which I think most of the people don't have. In India, I know we have 1.4 billion people, and I can see how many of them are still suffering. Therefore, we need to make at least the world a little better than what is around us whilst we were born. And we believe the third part, doing well, doing good, making a positive difference, and serving others. And I'll talk about serving others in the next part of my talk. So what is it that is the basis of the values that we hold in our business and in our foundation? The first thing is the concept we believe of trusteeship. Trusteeship means what? We believe that the wealth that we have, or anything that we have, we are just mere trustees, that we have been given this wealth. The wealth can be in terms of our own life, in terms of our monetary wealth, in terms of our education, whatever it is, that has been given to us. And our role as a trustee is to see that we use the wealth that has been given to us in the benefit of the society, in the benefit of a beneficiaries. Who are our beneficiaries? Our beneficiaries are society. It can be in a business, your customers, in your business, your shareholders, your employees, and society at large. Thus, as the Gita says, we are just mere trustees or mere instruments of the larger good that we have, the larger nature power that has given to us. And therefore, it is in our interest to ensure that we give back to see that the world around us is better. I just want to give you an instance that how we are grateful for everything that we do, but sometimes forget it. Nature is the best example. We all would realize this during the time of COVID. In COVID, I know that some of the richest people in the world were grasping for oxygen. And I know how many times we have had to use, whatever powers that we have to get somebody a bed in a hospital so that they could get oxygen. And do we realize that every day, every moment in our lives, we are getting oxygen free from nature? So isn't it required that we give back to nature? And that is why we believe in trusteeship. The second thing which we believe in is is on service. And that is where I think serving with love, with compassion is so important. In India, we call it Seva Bhav. Seva Bhav is just serving with love and compassion, which is what when we do CBCT, which I have also had the good fortune of being taught by some of your trainers who taught our team. This is what it is. The best example, if I can do, of Seva Bhav or compassionate service is when a mother is feeding her child. When a mother is feeding her child, yes, it is service. Yes, it is she has to undergo some difficulty. She has to undergo many nights. All mothers know how many nights they've woken up and so much of other tensions. But does she not enjoy it? Does she not give love for it? I think that is what compassion teaches us. How can we serve with love? How can we serve with somebody who's not like I'm at this level and the person who's getting it is at a much lower level? It is the same thing, to do it so that we are equally sharing love. At the end of the day, we believe that all beings, all sentient beings, are all connected to each other. There is a common thread that goes through all of us, and not only human beings, but all living beings. There is that common thread, and we are like a pearl necklace. We are all pearls attached to that same thread. So that's where compassion comes in. And that compassion, which is given with love, is what really brings so much joy to you. I have seen in the work that I had recently been to some of the villages in India where seal learning has been taught to all the students. These were girls and boys who are like in the second class onwards. And I could see the change that has taken place in their families. I met their parents, their grandparents, and they said how their own lives have been changed because of the work that is being done on seal. So I want to just thank you all at the university for doing this. The other thing that we have, which is important for us, is the whole concept of humility. I think that's the other thing which I find. If we have to serve well, if you have to have compassion and love, then it has to be with a human. You have to have humility. At least we find that that is when pure love comes out. And I want to just really acknowledge and thank what Emory is doing with us. Our partnership started in 2019, so not that long ago. I think you have been much longer here, but it has been a great benefit for us. We started by teaching it in 5,000 schools across India. These are only schools which are public schools, or which are schools which are run by the government for the poor people. And now, today, I'm happy to say that it's gone up to 100,000 schools all over the country, across 7 states in India. Not As you know, it's not only in schools, we did it also in the public health systems, and we started in public hospitals in the state of Bihar. Actually, Bihar, when you were talking in the beginning, Bihar was the most developed state in India in the early centuries, or before BC. That's when Nalanda, which is the oldest university, was started before the BCE. But today is one of the least or the most underdeveloped of states in the country. So that's where we started with the programs of CBCT and SEAL. And I'm happy to say that today, the public hospitals which we began in Bihar, which serve 3.4 million people, have already benefited with this program and has changed the way the public hospitals work. My colleagues will speak more about it, but I just want to tell you that this has had a significant impact in the way we are doing things. More than 150 people, senior leaders from our foundation, have attended your courses and are really grateful for that as well. So, if I was to say in conclusion, compassionate leadership is not a mere philosophy. Actually, it is action rooted in humility, resilience in the face of difficulties, clarity of purpose, and the courage to serve anonymously. As the Bhagavad Gita reminds us, one has a right to action, but not to the fruits. And as we enter this new era, to strengthen our partnership, to cultivate compassion and seva among individuals across the world, I'm hopeful that the compassion shift will aid this journey of transforming people and transforming nations. Despite great progress, deep divides we are seeing today persist and in fact increase. In fact, the number of, I know the dean will know the amount of stress and the amount of concern that you have about young students actually committing suicide and so many other horrible things. I also have the privilege of being president of a university, and I've been in many other university positions, and I've seen how the stresses have only increased. Dignity and opportunity we need to give access to. Together, through partnerships that transcend borders and disciplines, we can build not only a greater, simply developed economy in India, and the nation, but a world where prosperity and happiness arise from collective compassion. Thank you.